Season 4 of Survivor went back to the island, yet it had another difficult job to accomplish after Survivor Africa had to deal with unforeseen consequences. Marquesas was originally going to shoot in the country of Jordan and be Survivor Arabia, but due to 9/11, this quickly changed their plans. In a matter of 2 months, Survivor changed everything they planned and moved to the Marquesas. And with the rush production of their newest season, could this even be salvaged? Let's find out. Before we start, I want to thank you all for supporting this channel. If you want to see these videos weeks before they are ever released here on YouTube, then consider supporting this channel on Patreon. That Patreon also gets you access to the audio files for our Survivor podcast, and you get to pick which survivors I tell the stories of. With that out of the way, let's start the video. Number 1, the theme. Marquesas is a beautiful location. It was a welcome change of scenery to be back at the beach in the South Pacific after the previous 2 seasons didn't have that beautiful of vistas. But once again, there is no theme for the season. This will change in season 6, but for now, Marquesas cannot be scored in this category, but it will not account for or against the final score for this season. Number 2, production quality. Despite such a rushed production schedule, they did a good job this season with a few glaring exceptions. The winner had a strong showing of content in the pre-merge and in the finale, but seemed to be hidden in the middle part of the game due to large characters taking center stage. The challenges were very hit and miss once again. The kite flying challenge was bizarre, and they clearly did not know how to show the boat challenge.
Today's challenge is very simple. First person to get their kite 300 feet in the air wins. Survivors ready! Go! Hang in there, Tammy.
Fly! Huh? This thing just does not want to fly.
But otherwise, everything was solid, and the tribal council set had the most beautiful view of any tribal so far.
John, the tribe has spoken.
Jeff was a solid host this season and did well at tribals, but he still did not do the reunion show, leaving that to Rosie O'Donnell of all people. An improved edit and better challenges that work on television would have made the season better. But I will give them some grace on the challenges considering how rushed they were due to an event that they couldn't do anything about, and they clearly only had the location near the tribal council set for a lot of these challenges. Overall, production gets a 7 out of 10. Number 3, strategic play. Their strategic play this season made leaps and bounds over what we had saw before. The winner of this season flipped on her alliances multiple times to advance her game. Boston Rob was a wrecking ball until he was voted out with his overly aggressive gameplay to blame.
Rob, tribe has spoken. Good luck, guys.
Along with the Row 2-4's cockiness thinking they had this in the bag until they didn't when they were eliminated one by one, made for a lot of great strategy shown here that we had never seen before.
John, the tribe has spoken. Zoe, the tribe has spoken. Tammy, the tribe has spoken. General, the tribe has spoken.
For once, the underdog tribe actually came out on top at the end of the season, even though they went into the jury phase down with only 2 people. Aside from Vesepia, Rob, Kathy, and John, the strategy from everyone else was fairly basic, and a lot of people played a passive game or pretended to be high and mighty with their morals. We saw another final tribal where the castaway, who was just trying to be a good person, lost, and it continues to solidify that being the nicest person is not how you win this game. Overall, strategic play gets an 8 out of 10. Number 4, the characters. Marquesas had some of the biggest characters to date: Rob, Kathy, John, Sean, and even the first boot, Peter Harkey. Vesepia was a quiet winner, while the remaining Row 2-4 were a salty bunch of losers. The Marquesas radio show was easily my favorite segments to come out of the season and require repeat watching to really soak up all the jokes.
No. Are they in or are they out? Call in right now. Come on, let them light up.
Well, I think the no-nos suck too, because I've never been bitten by mosquitoes, and these things are getting me as well. I think I've been getting bitten by the black ones the most, because those are ring. The white ones are just as bad. The black ones get blamed for all the bad ones.
Kathy's arc from the beginning of the season as an unlikable, overbearing character to the most dominating player that was robbed at the final 3 is fascinating upon rewatching to see how someone can bury themselves 6 feet deep, but then dig their way out of their grave. However, there were quite a few duds in the cast that kept this season from being better, and it didn't help that a lot of them made it far. Since the characters are so important to a season, I give their score twice the weight. Number 5, the winner.
And I will work. Work.
Vecepia played a strategic game that had never been done before. She played a mixture of Tina's nice woman, under the radar game with Richard's strategy first mindset. It made for an interesting watch whenever she would make a move, and she flip-flopped on her alliances, and she still got to the end and won.
The winner of Survivor Marquesas.
However, she was constantly not shown on the show and was considered to be buried in the edit. When we did hear from her, it was interesting. She was quiet and quirky and hated drama, but we didn't see her often enough, and this can be partly blamed by the dominance of Rob and John. But even when they were voted out of the show, she was still not shown to us that much. How she ended the season being in every single episode with only one more confessional than Gina, who was voted out 6th and wasn't a major character and didn't even make the merge, is beyond me. I think we were robbed a bit and should have saw more of Vecepia and heard what she was thinking more often. Overall, I give the satisfaction of the winner a 6 out of 10. But I think Vecepia is one of the better winners.
We've got to look deeper inside of ourselves if we really want to win, and my inner strength comes from the Lord Jesus Christ.
Despite the most complex winner and an explosive player in Rob and an interesting arc with Kathy, this season kind of lacked. Rush production led to a lot of mediocre challenges, and there were a lot of duds in the cast. However, this season still had a lot of fun scenes and is worth rewatching today to see the gameplay of Vecepia and the birth of Boston Rob, aka the Rob Father. All of the scores combined from every category average out to a 7 out of 10 for Survivor Marquesas. Tune in next time as I weave the tale of Shean from Survivor Thailand. Thanks for watching, and if you like the content you see here, then please support me and this channel on Patreon.
Wait, my balls. It really hurts.